your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll fly. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Hey, sis.
I don't know what happened. So you guys couldn't hear me at all?
We heard nothing until just now.
Nothing.
Oh my gosh, that is not cool.
Um,
So I'm like, someone was calling. I was like, well, here, I was just talking about what Level Up does. And we believe in the power of transformation, right? So we're more than just a learning platform. We are a movement of dreamers and doers and difference makers, right? We're ready to rise above limitations and lead with our heart. And we talked about it with Danielle all the time with Leading Heart. So, whether you're a business or a brand or a legacy maker, this is where clarity meets community and that learning meets action. But we also like to nurture purpose driven leaders like April Wyatt, visionary entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners who are not afraid to be seen, heard, or celebrated. And I had this conversation with someone where I know that they wanted to be out there, but they're so afraid of judgment that people might say, "Oh, I could never do that. I could never be on TV. I could never be on podcast." I think it's coming from two places: judgment from the past, where people judge you because maybe you weren't ready and you did it, and secondly, it's that fear of what if I cannot do it? What if I fail? And I invite you to say, so what if I fail? What's going to happen? I'm not going to die. You know what I mean? We're just going to keep moving. But as part of our mission to elevate voices that inspire it, level up, we're proud to announce our next collaborative book project. That's what we're talking about today, guys. Grateful, a heart wide open. It's a powerful anthology of real stories that will shine a light on the beauty of gratitude, especially in life's most unexpected moments. Sometimes when we go through really real hardship or we feel like we're at the bottom of the totem pole period and you can't breathe and you actually think about how grateful you are that you're still able to feel, your mindset change. All of a sudden things change, right? So that is why we're here today. I wanted to start with Sister April, since we haven't seen her in a while, and just kind of check in. How are you doing, sis?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. And I just need to let everyone know, I'm not perfect either. So my video is lagging, but that's okay. It's that we're here together and to expand. I'm all about expanding the collective consciousness, for wellness. And we're in Pensacola, Florida right now, and the sun is shining bright. And our son, he's going through school here, so we're very excited for him and his new bride. And then we'll be off to Des Moines. So that's what I've been up to, besides getting ready for this amazing anthology. I can't wait.
Me too. I cannot wait. I'm so glad that you're part of it again. And I think it's meant to be, right? It's meant to be because I have a lot of things to be grateful for. I'm grateful for a lot of things despite what I'm going through right now. But at the same time, like I'm still able to breathe. I'm still able to talk. I'm still able to do, period. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes when we're at the bottom of the totem pole of our life, we focus on the negative aspect of what's happening rather than focus on the positive. So all the actions that you're doing is actually going downhill. So this book is so like timely for all of us. Sister Susanna, checking in on you, sis. How are you doing today?
I see. Well, since I got the academic paper done last night, much better. And it's a sunny day. It's like the one day this week that's going to hit 80, and the rest of them are down in the 60s.
Oh wow.
Figured
Okay,
that
so segue a little bit on writing because this is your first time to do academic publishing in the global space. How does that feel? I know I'm a pusher button, a button pusher. How's that so far?
it was definitely challenging. The biggest part of it is just making sure to learn the new system for me of citations and everything, because that's the way it's cited. Everything is cited because it's all research. You have to find and show where you found everything. And being a historian, I'm a stickler on that information, which is why there were those times it's like I did deep dives trying to find stuff that I couldn't. It's like something said it was there, but I didn't see it there. So I have to have that which fit for putting this paper together.
Yeah. You resisted a lot on this paper. I think you resisted a lot, and you're like, I hate psychology. I hate this thing. I hate this thing. And I keep telling you, you're living in it, and you're like, no, I don't. I'm like, no, let me show you why you're living in it. Because I was trying to tell you that you already have it in you. It's just a matter of backing it up with science and research that people already have looked at, right?
Right.
What I love about this anthology also is that I have not seen anyone put anthology yet in academic way. It is very difficult. It is not easy. I'm actually doing the editing right now before we first submit for another edit. Like there's going to be like 10 edits on this thing, literally, back and forth. So that this is why I only do it once every 3 years, because it's very intense. There's so many things you have to do. And now we're competing for that $100,000. So hopefully we'll get it. April wrote in our Moving Beyond boxes, right? And this one is a different type of book. It's not moving beyond boxes anymore. It's actually gratefulness, right? When we talked about it about emotions yesterday. So,
Yep.
Sister April, do you have any idea what you're going to write about? Oh, hold on. She's muted.
Last podcast of mine. And as you are going through this transformation, my sister CJ, with the transition of your grandmother, I am actually going to write about my father and his transition and the gratitude that I have that I learned so much to prevent what happened to him for myself and for other people, my loved ones, and also for my clients that I work with. And this is where the science-backed, it comes in with the biodynamic breath work and trauma release system that I work through. So I'm saying, let's see here, more about grief is an opportunity for growth. That's what I'm saying. And having gratitude to experience, just as you perfectly described, being in that space to where you feel so empty or alone or not know, even which direction to go, because the grief can be very overpowering. But when we shift the script to, this is an opportunity for growth. I have this hole. I have this space within me. What do I get to choose to fill it with? How can I learn from his life story and better my own life from it? So the interesting thing is, he was a school teacher. He was a teacher his whole life. I had to actually be in his class. And that's another funny story. Although he's still teaching me, even though he's on the other side, he's still teaching me. So this is where I'm having the gratitude of, I'm learning, I'm listening, I'm leaning in, and I'm passing on what I'm learning to my clients about health and wellness, about regulating the nervous system, about making sure that we are very mindful of what our thoughts are, because our bodies are constantly responding to them, and that affects everything within us and around us.
Wow. Okay, I want to read a portion of what you wrote for Moving Beyond Boxes. This is on page 252, guys, if you have the book. You said, I want to bring awareness to the negative stories we tell ourselves about what we are not capable of, how we don't fit in, and the way others view and treat us. This is because without realizing it, those stories shape us, molds us into a box. Over time, they become ingrained with our belief system. Yes. Each thought is connected to our emotions. When we think about these negative experiences, brick by brick, the thoughts reinforce the box, making it difficult to see past the walls of the box we built. I love that because I'm trying to picture that like literally the brick and brick and brick, and each brick is a negative thought. And this is why people sometimes are numb to things. These are people who have a hard time letting people in because their wall is so large, and they can't see anything beyond their wall, right?
Mhm.
And it's hard to love those kinds of people. Honestly, they don't even love themselves. They don't even probably know what love is, and you're really trying your best, but you can only do so much of loving, that you have to have love from afar because you're getting affected by the negative energy of that wall, right? And so for me, even though maybe the process is like that, I'm still grateful that I'm able to see beyond that wall, right? So I have to find gratefulness in every dark moments of my life just so I can survive and thrive within it. Sister Susana is literally a professional expert on building a wall. She's a professional expert on that, but she let me in on her wall. So I'm grateful for her. Now, Sister Susanna, I have a question for you. I know you're an expert on this one. When when daily habits or mindsets help you stay rooted in thankfulness, even when life is overwhelming, what are some of the things that you do to help yourself stay in the ground of gratefulness?
Part of that is looking at who's around me, because that's I've said this many times. I don't know where I would be without the inner circle right now. I know what the last 2 years have been like, and even now, the stuff that's going on is really difficult. But that keeps me going. Prayer keeps me going, and that's another spot is just faith. And you and I have talked about this a lot, and that is my foundation. I have my ways of trying to keep that up front so that when I hit one of these difficult spots, I pause and do a prayer, or I hit a spot and am able to get myself to move beyond the I don't want to bother somebody to reach out, at least with a text message, and at times put in those specific emojis that say this is where I'm at. You guys know exactly which I'm talking about. Between you and Danielle, you get those emojis. It's like sometimes I just need to send the emoji and then I feel better. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have set that boundaries. We have set our thing. It's like, guys, sometimes I can't say what I needed to say, but this is the emojis. I'm telling you that this is the 911 for us, right? And we drop everything for that emoji. And it's really important to have those kinds of friends around you with no judgment, like truly no judgment. We've seen each other literally into everything. Our bathrooms. When we go to the bathroom, we take each other in the bathroom. In ball games, in games. We're on Ezra's game when Danielle is there, and I'm on the road, going to comic conventions or whatever. You're on the road with me. Like, we take everything with us. And it's a cool friendship to have, and it's beyond amazing. Sister April, what does having a heart wide open mean to you, especially in the context of gratitude?
Well, just as what Susanna shared about being in those spaces and having, we want to close off. We want to protect our hearts in those moments, yet she feels safe to reach out with those emojis to connect with others, because that's the human connection. This is what we crave, even when our minds say it's not true, or it's better to be alone, or to be siloed. And that's not true. So when we reach out, when we have that human connection, when we speak about how we're feeling, then that's what helps to keep our hearts open. So in the context of gratitude, then knowing that we are capable of more than our BS, of that belief system about ourselves, and then recognizing, oh, I didn't die, right? I reached out, or I expressed gratitude to this person, or just being out in the world, smiling at somebody. You never know how that's going to change somebody's day. You don't know what they're going through. And so keeping that ripple effect going as your heart is open and curious, that's the big thing for me, is being curious about it, keeping ourselves out of that judgment, out of those schemas that we like to build that wall up that I talked about in the book. And when we can do that, then we start to trust in ourselves, and we start to trust in the process. And I love, Susanna, and how you said, prayer and connecting with our higher power. Our higher power is there for us. Our past loved ones are there for us. That's my belief. And so when we know we have a network of support, then we can feel a little bit more relaxed, and we know that our hearts can stay open. We don't have to close them off as much. And then we receive more gratitude in that space.
I love that. And I think forgiveness is a lot to do with also gratitude. Like, be grateful that you're able to forgive. I've seen in my family right now, like, grandma had contentions with one of her kids, and towards the end of her life, they forgave each other and their weaknesses and their arguments, and it was a beautiful thing to see. And we have a lot of crap that we put in our heads, negative thoughts in our heads, that people are always against us, and building that wall of, I don't want to deal with you, because at the end of the day, there's just so much coming into our lives that more of the belief system that's negative is just not feasible to take in. And so I love that you said that, because sometimes life can be really difficult, plus adding all the other nonsense that you don't need. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Hey, Crystal, thank you for coming in. It's been a hot minute. So Sana, I want to ask you this, sister. Have you ever had to find gratitude in the midst of loss, pain, or uncertainty? And what did that teach you?
The simple answer is yes. And it's actually, I can see it in all three. When I think about loss, I can go back to when my mom passed almost 5 years ago now. Because it was just, yet before she died, I was the last one to see her. I was able to say everything, and I was able to tell her how grateful I was, even though she'd had Alzheimer's and she was asleep when I was there. There were a handful of times that I saw her pick her head up after I said something that felt important to me to say. So I'm grateful that I had that opportunity to be there, because this was 2020. This is when everybody's talking about how you can't go and see somebody that's in a home, in memory care, in whatever. You got to have glass between you. I was in the same room. We were together. I just had to have a mask on. I could have touched her. I was afraid to touch her. I didn't want her to wake up and just I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know what would happen if she left at that moment when I was there. But being able to be there and know that I said what I had to was one of the most important things, even though I had nobody else to tell this to at that time. And then when you talk about pain, I mean, there's different kinds of pains too, and I'm dealing with some of that right now, and you know all about it. But that the gratitude is having somebody who knows me enough to know how to guide me in the right direction so that I don't slip into things that I've done in the past, that I can move forward instead of fall backwards.
Yeah, it's easy to fall backwards because we're comfortable with our own core, right? Whether it's bad or good attitude, it doesn't matter. That's our comfort zone. Um, Growing and learning and trusting yourself is really hard. I'll be honest. Like, I'm so good at giving advice. I suck at taking my own advice, to be honest. I just suck at it. I'm like, oh my God, CJ, what have you been thinking? You know? And here I am, like preaching, like, guys, leadership's all about getting in the mud and blah blah blah. And I was like, and I preached to you and Danielle, like, don't forget, you know, you need help, reach out. Danielle is very good at reaching out. I suck at reaching out and asking for help. So I'm learning all these things in my journey that, like, CJ, you need somebody right now. You're so low. Like, I'm the lowest of low. And I'm like, okay, I can't. I need to get out and do something and, you know, something different. And yeah, I'm going to be changing a lot and level up soon because I'm just rearranging and whatever my brain tells me to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to have regrets. I'm not going to answer to nobody. I'm only going to answer to God, and that's it. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But that's how I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up ready for me and whoever is ready with me, right? Because it's just difficult to keep up with others people's BS, and I don't need it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes this year, I think, for me. I can see that. Sister April, this is my next question. Was there a time when gratitude helped you forgive, heal, or grow beyond a difficult situation?
Hmm. I think that I would like to say I do my best to kind of practice that on a daily basis, or just knowing, right, that this is just a temporary situation, or how am I being in a reactive mode, or am I being a receptive mode when a challenge or something comes up in my life? There's always things, right? Always things in our lives that come up. Although, how am I responding to it? And then that's when the gratitude comes in, is oh, I'm grateful that I'm learning and unlearning at the same time. As you said, Sister CJ, about the, you know, we have these protective factors, these fallback on. But when we recognize that we're starting to fall back, this is where we're building our emotional intelligence and standing and showing up and questioning, what is this behavior? Why do I feel I need to protect myself right now? And then I feel grateful that I had the wherewithal, that I had that emotional intelligence to counter that old protective BS that comes in. Yeah. So also, seriously, my father's death, because I forgave myself for things that I couldn't control growing up in my childhood. Because when your guardian or your parent or whomever passes, and if you have any resentment, any ill feelings or regrets or whatever about them, then when they die, who are you going to blame? Right? It's our own BS that we have. And those situations did happen. Yes, I'm not saying that it's not true. Although, what am I choosing to carry forward about that? How do I want to remember him? And how do I play into that? So there's just so many different levels to this. Although it does come back to ourselves, and how are we looking at ourselves? How are we responding? What do we want more of in our lives? I know I want more happiness, joy, or just a simple peace and contentment is perfect too. We don't have to be rainbows and unicorns every day. We can just be relaxed and at peace with ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we are the ripple
yeah,
effect, aren't we? We're the
we
ripple
are.
effect.
We definitely are. And some
And
ripples are
that's
larger
the
than others.
gratitude. Yeah, that's the gratitude that we want to see more of. So let's keep that going.
Yeah. And if you think about the rainbow, it doesn't come not before the rain, it's after the rain, right?
Yes.
If you think about it, rainbow doesn't come before the rain. So if you pay attention, all your adversities in your life, there's a light beyond that tunnel. You just have to endure, and you have to have faith, and you have to believe. Did I say it's easy? Heck no. It is so hard to just stay still, especially when you have ADHD. It's really hard, right? So that's my next question to Susanna, but I'm gonna answer this one and then I'm gonna ask her. In terms of daily habits or mindsets that help me stay rooted in thankfulness, even when life is overwhelming. When life is feels overwhelming, I literally turn into simple intentional habits that anchors me into gratitude. So I begin with a moment of stillness. That literally is so hard for me because my brain just bounced. And so it takes me longer to sit still. And not that I can't sit still, I can sit still, but my brain is bouncing. So I literally listen to gongs or even glass healing like Noriko does. I listen to vibration music because somehow it collects my brain and it's resetting it. It's so crazy how that's been working since I met Noriko. I've been into that, like just listening to the music and the vibration, and it stops me from my train of thoughts and I reset. And so when I do that, those are some things that I'm like, okay, what are the three things that you're thankful for right now, CJ? And I try not to repeat every day what I'm thankful for so I can get a fresh mind and it gets my brain going. Also, I was told last night by one of my students that she was so stressed out. My school was just or my class, because there's a lot of research and writing, and I'm like, I have to tell you, you're doing a great job in class, and thank you for sharing that. How can I help you not get so stressed out? There's so much that I don't know what I can do if you don't tell me. And she's like, just maybe move the due dates, because I have really short things on Friday and I still work. And I said, okay, let's move it for you. Would that help you? She goes, yes. And she goes, oh, okay. I wish I could ask you to write my paper too, but I know I can't. And she started laughing. And I'm like, my daughter already does that. Okay, so let's not give it to you. Because other people have retired and haven't been in school for a long time, and they're in their 60s. And so they're not used to doing research. And now they have to be told, oh, you got to do APA. So I have to show and be patient. But I'm grateful for the ability to share my knowledge, right? I'm grateful for the ability to actually know what they're thinking so I can help. And I'm also grateful for journaling. And lately, I've been lazy of writing, so I've just been talking to Claude and dumping it on my thing. And that me writing randomly when I'm upset or whatever, it actually helps with my academic publishing, because as soon as I put it out there, I was done in like 3 days with my 30 pages. And Susanna and them are like, CJ, that's too much pressure. I'm like, guys, don't feel pressure. I've written this for the last 10 years. So I was ready for this moment. Okay. And sometimes you don't think that you're ready until you get into that position. So another mindset that is helping me is choosing perspective over perfection. If you're a perfectionist, it's really hard, but it gets you into anxiety and depression. So try not to be perfect, okay? Instead, wishing things were different, like, oh gosh, I wish things were different. I will ask myself, what is this moment trying to teach me? What is this moment trying to teach me? Right? Shifting from that frustration to curiosity literally transforms obstacles into lessons and path into purpose. That's literally how I see things. So, your turn, Sister Susanna. This is my question. What daily habits or mindsets help you stay rooted in thankfulness and even when life is literally overwhelming, like right now?
It's trying to, for me, it's actually trying to create some of these daily habits, because I've noticed, and it's probably the ADHD and everything else, that I can make a habit last for 1 to 2 months, and then it just kind of peters out, and so I have to start all over again. I don't, so I'm not really finding a whole lot of habits, because I keep going all over the place. My thoughts are everywhere. My I can write notes all over the place, but then I never see them. I never look at them. I forget where I even put them. It, so it's really hard for me to say that I even have any habits. It's just, for me, it's whenever it happens, whenever it pops in my mind. But I'm not sure exactly what kind of habits I would even have on that. Sometimes I'm just trying to get through the day.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what habits you do for gratitude. Are you ready?
I know you will. Because you see it and I don't.
It's hilarious. It's always like this. Oh my God. Okay, so I tell her what her habits are, and I tell her what her positive and strengths are all the time. So your daily habits is you give us text every day on the 3 things that we focus on. That's your daily habits. You do. And that puts a smile to me that you're alive. You're checking in, right? And Danielle, the other daily habits that you do to the social media is you love to share Dornbrook. That's your habit. Might not be daily, but it's there. Your other daily habits is trying to do your to-do list, even though you freaking hate to-do lists, but I push you to do 3 every day. What did you do today? That's 3. That's, things that's going on. I check in with you, and sometimes when I don't check in with you, Danielle does, so you can't get away from us. So that's your daily habits. Another thing is you love to bake, right? So your daily habits always telling us about food that you eat and where you're going. And also your weekly habits, or at least every 2 weeks, is like, I'm going to get my nails done. What color should I be doing? Right? So, and then also I ask you to send me selfie of you and really, what are you going to do today? And now it became a habit. I don't have to ask you. You just send photos of selfies of yourself to us. And then we tell you, oh, this one's good and this one's not. Oh, and then I tell you, you're literally my live Barbie. Susanna, do this jacket, do that sweater, do this boots, and then do this, way. And she does it. And she sends me the selfie. I'm like, okay, maybe a little bit to the left and like smile a little bit and sway. And she does it. I'm like, that's your daily habits, is getting feedback and having fun at the same time, right? And I don't know if you noticed that, sister. Do you notice that? Sister April, what about you? What's your daily habits?
Oh, for the mindfulness. I love hearing that. I love the interaction that you guys have. It's so fun and cute. And yeah, I love that post with you guys together. Was it earlier this month, or yeah, that you
the
guys were
AI?
together?
Yeah, we went
That
to
was
the AI
awesome.
show.
It was so
Yeah.
awesome to see you guys again together. So my daily habits is I have a new one And just as Susanna was saying, and I put in the chat, right? Everything's energy. So our bodies are shifting and changing and evolving with the energy. So whatever's needed at that moment that feels good, that could be just, it could be a weak habit. That's okay. Like for 1 week habit. Or it could be for a couple months, or maybe it's years. So mine.
Did you just froze?
She just froze.
Can you still hear
Oh,
me? Can you
No.
hear me?
okay.
Okay.
Now we can. Okay,
So
good.
it's lymphatic drainage exercises, because we have these lymph glands throughout our whole body, and it really works with our circulatory system. It works with our brain. It works with all the things. So I started this lymphatic drainage, and I'm telling you, sisters, I am feeling energized even more so every morning. And I do that after my meditation practice. So things that I focus on make me feel good. Of course, walking the dog. That's something too, to get outside, move the body, look at the trees, be grateful for my little doggy, that I have. So it's all encompassing, and that brings it back to me, the gratitude of I'm giving back to myself.
I love that. I do a little bit of lymphatic because of my grandma. She taught me since I was little on where the nerve system and all the drainage that you need, especially for the face. Like literally, I'm chubby right now. I'm at my chubby face. I will get my crap together. Okay, right now I'm just have too much going on, and this turkey, whatever the heck this is, right? Oh my gosh! And so there's a nerve under your face right here, not a nerve, a bone. And so basically when you keep pushing it, all the little puffiness that you have is water retained, right? And if you actually drink more water, which is kind of weird, like you retain water but you drink water, yes you do, because you actually get it out of your body when you drink a lot more water, which I don't drink a lot of water. And so Harsha has been pushing me for a while now, about a year, to drink water at the beginning. And I noticed that when I have an orange juice, so I've been eating oranges the very first thing in the morning instead of coffee. And I feel like my stomach is shrinking. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And I also try to avoid eating after 6 p.m. But I teach late, and so I get hungry. So when I'll be Zooming with Susanna and Danielle like at 10 all the way to like midnight, we'd be talking crap about like our work or whatever, or like how frustrated we are with our lives. Or then we talk about our kids, and we have ADHD. So our conversation, if you are neurotypical, you would go nuts if you listen to us. Because then we're talking about wigs. And then, oh, what about your snack? Yeah. How about Saturday? Oh, yeah, we got to write that thing. Oh, my God, academic publishing is like really bad. Oh, let's talk about the vacuum. Do you have a vacuum? Oh, how about you? I mean, that's literally the conversation, and we all keep up with it. And so if someone was listening to us, they'd be like, what the heck are they talking about? No one could understand. And we understood each other. Like, oh, yeah, we got that. Right. So it's really interesting to see that. But this is my last question for the day for us, guys. And I am going to answer this actually after both of you. So we're going to start with Susanna, April, and then myself. What is the legacy you hope to leave behind through your story of gratitude, especially for this anthology?
If I'm I mean, everything's got legacy that we've done for these anthologies. So for this one, it's my hope would be that it would get more people to focus on gratitude, on what they have to be thankful for, and to know that they do have. Don't just say you don't. Get them to look at the past, not to get stuck in it, but to see that even though there may be a lot of stuff that was painful, within that, woven within all of that, is a lot of stuff to be grateful for, whether it's small or large. That doesn't even matter. Gratitude is gratitude. So look at the past and understand that you do have things to be grateful for. And you may not be where you want to be right now. However, don't focus on the past negatively. Find the positives so that you can stay in the present and make the future different than the past.
Sister April, same question.
I love that, Susanna. Our chapters, I think, will pair well together as the legacy or the seeds, I want to say seeds that I'm planting through sharing my story of gratitude is in hopes that other people will listen more to their bodies, take more action for their health and wellness, because my father didn't. And so by me learning from his experiences and applying it to my own life, then that's that ripple effect. And that creates more gratitude. So when we feel better about ourselves, we're going to be in the world with that. Our hearts are going to be open. We're going to be expressing more gratitude. We're going to really have that ripple effect with everyone around us. People can just feel it when you walk into a room. You don't have to say anything. That's the energy. And so when we're open and we're willing to look at ourselves in a way and to shift that script and be in a better space, then we can be more grateful for our bodies and what it's doing for us every day. I mean, we have these amazing containers for our life here on Earth, and being gratitude, holding that gratefulness for it, and your body responds, your cells respond. Science has shown that. The cells do like a happy dance. I'm serious about it. They light up. And so when you talk to your body and you give yourself more love and self-care, then you feel better from the inside out. And that's where gratitude comes from.
I love that. I love the inside and out, and I believe on that energy too. Because when you come into the room, you can tell which person you gravitate to, and it's a weird thing. And I was looking at the conversation of a monk and a shaman. It was an interesting conversation about energy and people's energy, and how sometimes people repel energy, not because they wanted to, it's because it wasn't meant for them. And so when you come into the room, because I've always asked, like, why is it that now I feel guilty and I feel bad, but this is a confession. Sometimes when I go into the room and I don't even know this person, I have no idea what this person does. And, they look gorgeous, they're beautiful, but there's something in them I just don't like. So I avoid it. And I don't know why. And I sometimes feel guilty. I'm like, CJ, you don't even know the person. Why do you feel like that? And so I have always asked that. I'm like, so then I saw this conversation, and it was fitting that I was thinking that for days, if I went to a networking event in person, and there's this lady, she was so gorgeous, she's beautiful, she smiles, she's butterfly. But there's something in her I just didn't like, and I don't know what it is. I'm like, I hate that feeling. And then I feel guilty, right? But then she came up to me, and I still feel that weird feeling. And I'm like, I was like really nauseated thinking about it. And then I saw this thing on Instagram about the shaman and the monk about that energy. And so sometimes we attract energy that's meant for us, and sometimes we attract non-energy that's not for us. And listen to your gut. I've always said that, right? And don't have to judge the person. You just need to move on and not say nothing. But for me to answer this question, the legacy I hope to leave behind through my story of gratitude is one of resilience, hope, and heart-led living. I want people to remember, right, that even in the face of adversity, it's possible to choose thankfulness. Not because life is perfect, but because the act of being grateful changes how we experience life, right? And I really want people to, I want my story to remind others that gratitude is not a passive feeling, it's a powerful choice, a choice to see beauty in the brokenness, to find the strength in surrender, and to trust that everything we live through has meaning, even if we don't understand it yet. If my words can help even one person pause, breathe, and say, I'm grateful anyway, then I've done what I came here to do. My legacy isn't about achievements, although I like to collect them, just to be honest. Okay, again, confession time. But it's about planting seeds of perspective, not perfection, reminding people that grace lives in the ordinary and that even an open heart can change the world, one thankful moment at a time. So that's what I want gratitude for. So to end this, I want Susanna to actually talk about what she hoped for and inviting authors or possible authors to join us in this collaboration.
So I'm excited for this collaboration. The anthology, looking at gratitude, because we started off talking about attitude of gratitude, and it morphed into this and chicken and the egg conversations and a whole bunch of other stuff. But when it comes to this, and I know there's people out there that they want to write, and maybe they've got trepidations, and they're like, I don't know what I'm going to write about. They're waiting for inspiration. You don't have to, not with us. Everyone knows what this is like. You don't have to come in. I mean, you can come in nervous, but we got you. Our whole focus when we work on these anthologies, when we work with each author, is to make sure that their story stays their story, that it is always in their voice. When we work on the editing, we give ideas, but the ideas are for them to choose. We're not forcing anything on anybody. And most importantly, because we love having that business aspect in terms of these chapters, because a lot of people, I've seen how they've actually benefited from writing in the anthology for their business. It opened up their mind on their business plan, or it's something that they can give to others. And I add that piece because we're all about lifting others up, level up the authors. They keep their copyright for their chapters. The only requirement is that we print it first. So working with us, I look forward to seeing chapters on a variety of topics around gratitude. What does it mean to be grateful? What does it mean to, or even look back at a time in your life when you were grateful about what happened? There was a moment of gratitude that actually changed your life. And it could have been in the midst of something that was really difficult, but you saw this shining light of gratitude, and it made a shift. It made a difference in where you went from that point forward. Having these kind of stories is so important, not only for you to write, and that's what we've seen too, is how many of that four score of authors we've stories that we published
Yeah.
have come out and said it was difficult for them to write, but they feel so much better because they did it. And then to find the stories for those who reached out to them because somebody read that story and it resonated with them, and they wanted to go meet that person. I know of one example specifically where somebody scheduled an appointment with one of our authors. They were from a different state. They crossed the state border to go have an appointment with our author because they wanted to meet them because of their story. And it was kind of funny because the author's not thinking of that in terms of the business aspect. Like, that's exactly what it was. They gained business. Yeah, you're willing to meet somebody if they want to talk, but that's one of our goals, is having that business aspect for our author.
Yeah. I wanted to read this text that I just got from Miguel. She's like, I just got off a conference. He's all with NYC Public Housing Fund, talking about event that highlights me. I mentioned I'd like to read my chapter in Rebel with a Cause. They asked if it was on Amazon, if they could buy in bulk. I'm like, yes. I know the publisher, LOL. You want spoken word of my homelessness for cultural capital. It's so passionate. I told him yes, yes, and yes. That I just got that right now from Miguel, right? Like, that is so nice, like amazing. And that's why I told him, I'm like, sometimes you don't see it right away, but it takes time. It takes time. And don't give up. Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on anything that you're doing. So thank you both for being here. Thank you, Dr. New. Yes, you have been in a lot of our anthologies, and it's really nice. And I haven't even met Dr. New. So maybe when I go to Texas, I'll definitely drive over there, sister. My uncle actually is in Texas, and he invited me to go over, but I want to drive in RV. That's why I'm talking to April about this, like how to get there, which places to get there, and how does it feel to be full time. So I told Susana, I'm like, you should just be a full time RVer, and then like just pick me up every couple of weeks, and then we just go around town. You know, like,
Oh, that would be an adventure in itself to see you both in an RV driving around. I would love that. That would be definitely something I would want to be part
and then
of.
we will be like meet and greet. We could do meet and greet and do podcasts in every single city that we're in.
Hounds of Business meet and greet. This is how we can all connect finally in person.
Right? And we're like, let's level up, guys. Let's level up.
Level
Let's
up on the
create a
road.
level up community. Right? I mean, that'd be so cool. And I can create the stickers that says level up on our a little bus that we were doing. That's why I told Susan, I'm like, go buy an RV, let's go. I can drive it. I drive a Sprinter now, and I love my Sprinter, and it's just a little bit bigger than that, but we need to make sure that we can drive it with a license B, not C, because I don't have a truck driving license. But
Right.
if I have to get one, I will. You know what I mean? But it is fun. Thank you so much, April and Sister Susana, for being here. And we are definitely still calling authors, guys. If you are coming in as a previous author, you get a $100 discount. If you are at the Hounds of Business community, you get $50. And if you want to come in, you're like, I don't have any budget right now. Just ask us. I'm sure we can work something out. But also, if you bring in 4 people, you can get in for free. So there's multiple ways. There's really no excuse for you not to come in. It's just you're not ready for yourself, but you're never going to be ready until you take that leap, right? So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Say bye, guys. We still have 500 people here in our. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.